Jackie, the governor's proposing a whopping $400 a year teacher pay raise. What you gonna do with all that cash?
Well, I'm telling you, I have to tell you, I am looking to get horse in the mouth on this one. On one side, we know there are a lot of people that are still unemployed, and I don't, none of us want to be insensitive to that because we are proud we have a job. But this has been an absolutely grueling year to be in our schoolhouses or on our school buses. Teaching in the class and virtually at the same time while you're trying to make sure that everybody's socially distanced and had used all the appropriate hygiene and wearing their mask, eating in the classroom because you couldn't go to the cafeteria, worrying about ventilation in the classroom and on our school buses, all of that, doing that while we were waiting to be considered important enough to be put as a priority in the vaccination line. All that going on, it's that.
Miss Jackie,
this is a tough one.
Would you rather have been offered nothing? Is this that insulting?
Well, no, you never say that. But the fact is, you have to look, when we look at it holistically, we know that we went 8 years in the prior administration before we received a pay raise. And so you never want to look away from a pay raise, but what we want to say is, when you look at this and what it breaks down to, when you look at the fact that we literally cannot man our classrooms right now. We have people that are retiring on a daily basis or making other career choices because of the stress level. If you look at it from a pure supply-demand curve, this is awful. This is awful. Now, we do know that MFC Task Force is meeting today, and they'll make a recommendation to go to the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education. Clearly hope that they realize just, I hate to use that tired word of the optics of it, but it fits it really well on this one. And it comes back with something different than this.
This is $33 a month. The governor's pledged to get teacher pay up to the Southern regional average. We're still not even close, correct?
Oh, no, ma'am, we are certainly not even close. We are not. And, as I said, when you look at how this looks to a teacher that has struggled every day to go into that classroom, certainly I learned a long time ago, somebody wants to bring something for pay, you don't turn your back on it. But we're going to tell you that this needs to be relooked at. And if you juxtapose it against the stresses of this past year, and I call it, any money we get it's really not a relief money as much as it is. We haven't cried uncle yet, and this is where we are. This might be close to it.
Miss Jackie, COVID relief money is on the way to Caddo Parish Schools, $66 million, Bossier, $19 million. If you were in charge of that money, got any ideas what you might do with it?
Well, I know that both those districts are already looking at things. And so we're gratified that the districts are doing that, whether it's going to be enough to put our qualified teachers back in our classrooms and our drivers in the seats of their buses. If it's going to be enough to that, that's when whenever it's just like I said, it's just pure free enterprise. When you look at it, if you have openings that's telling you that you're not doing the things you need to do in order to fill those positions, that's pretty clear to us. But you look at this, it's more than just pay. It's what it translates to you. It's what it says about your value. And we know how valuable, ask any parent that's had to sit home and do any type of virtual learning. I think everybody has a clear understanding of the value of what the classroom is to our boys and girls. We provide stellar public education. I can tell you, look over at Magnet High, had the number of students that had a complete 100% on their ACT test, the number that were National Merit Scholars. Caddo Parish and Bossier Parish and Red River Parish, those are three we represent. You can see some stellar scholars coming out of those districts. You get that as a public education instrument. And you have to recognize the value of those people that come into your classroom to provide that.
Miss Jackie, all that COVID money is, I would suspect, like most other, earmarked for COVID-related things. Is there, in your mind, a way to circuitously or not so circuitously make that pay raise money?
A bonus, possibly.
It can't be pay raise money if it's not going to be reoccurring funds. You can't put it in your budget.
What
But you
about a
can
bonus
just
check?
take
What about a
supplements.
bonus check for teachers who worked during the pandemic?
And that's coming, Aaron. But you can't even call them bonuses. You have to call them supplements. It's just semantics. And yet, I know for a fact that's coming.
Okay, so the parishes individually will decide to do that.
Yes, and we're working on that. There's going to be some wrinkles and bumps in that too. Be assured, there always is. So this that the governor has proposed is a permanent one. And again, when you consider the fact that we went forever and not received anything, you hate to say, "Oh, I don't want that." You never say that, but you have to say, "Excuse me, did you see what we were doing? Do you see the empty classrooms? We're going to ask you to go back to the table and sharpen that pencil."
Put another zero, maybe, huh?
Let me
yes,
rephrase. Let me rephrase my previous question. $66 million for Caddo, $19 million for Bossier. Are you confident that those in charge of those two school districts will use those millions wisely?
I'm confident that there's going to be something that's going to come out of it because I know that for a fact. Am I confident that it's going to be allocated appropriately? That's going to be up to those people that we elect, those board members. And so am I confident of that? I would recommend every single person out there pick up that phone and call your board member and ask them, what are you going to do with that $19 million and that $66 million? That's where I would ask you, if your child is being taught by a permanent sub or has somebody different in their classroom every day, I would recommend you as a taxpayer in these districts to pick up the phone and call your board member and say, have you looked at this? Do you see how much is out there? Have you done the best that you can? And that's where that pressure has to come. We certainly are going to be. We've already been at the table with superintendents and the administration and voiced our concerns, and still are voicing our concerns. But the fact is, we're not the ones that are going to vote on it in the final analysis. The people that are going to vote on it are going to be those board members. How we vote is with our feet.
Okay, Jackie, last 30 seconds here. The governor's on the phone. He wants to talk to you. Hey, Jackie, we're doing all we can. I know 400's not much, but we're trying to help. What do you say to him?
I'm going to tell him that as an old free enterprise as an old free enterprise teacher, you better look again, because that $400, well, certainly we appreciate the fact that you have been a governor that has brought a pay raise. It's not enough, sir. If you're not filling those classrooms, if you're not filling those school buses, if we have empty classrooms, sir, you need to go back. How you spend your time and how you spend your money tells us what's valuable to you. Are we valuable to you? We're not real sure about that today.
Jackie Lansdale, Red River United. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Aaron.